Welcome to my world. Come on in. It is Tuesdays. It is health, wellness, and treats. And I hope you are ready because I did bring the treats. We have grapefruit tonight, and I'm excited to tell you what I learned today about grapefruit. I thought it was such a great idea. So come on in. We have so much to go over tonight. And I have found a secret to what I think we have been operating on. And once again, it was my Pete who seemed to call it out. So, health, wellness, and treats is what Tuesday is all about. Um, my name is Colleen Liz Frost, and I am in development, and we are in a digital world today. And that's what I'm building. I'm building a digital home for eventually all of you to come on over to. And we're going to start it one little step at a time. We're going to be moving in about a week over to what's called a Facebook page. I'm sure many of you have been following many of them. And I just can't wait to have one that I feel I can operate and do consistently for you. I'm ready. I am a coach. I've been coaching for my son how to live life on purpose 7 days a week. And I plan on preaching and teaching and repeating these lessons I've learned from many coaches I've had throughout my life, from my family to my Pete. And I'm not sure if you folks go to gyms. They actually tore down my high school gym. And of course, I do have a section of that in my storage sheds. Um, I have a Brad. I would suggest that all of you consider a storage shed because I am a hoarder. I love history. I love celebrating history. I love creating more, but we have to have some place to keep it. And I found a digital home, so I cannot wait to take you there, but it's going to take time. I've written a book. It has been one of my biggest dreams. And today we're going to talk about list and just how important a list is. So, do you have a gym? That is my first question. I just think it's Tuesdays and we need to find a gym. I don't know. We have a 1907 all original opera house in Staples, Minnesota. And what's so interesting when I uncovered our history there about 18 years ago, did you know that they even had their first gym in our opera house floor? And they had basketball games there, and they even had circuses. So it's right down my alley. So I don't know where you're going to find your gym, but I would suggest just looking below your feet, clearing some furniture, and getting started. However, do you have a Pete? That's my question today. Pete today, when I was walking out, he says, "You know what today sounded like, Colleen?" He said, "Today you remind me of Sun Tzu," and it's a famous book, and I remember the book from Mrs. Dorholt, my famous high school teacher who's a legend in our town, but also on the internet. She has a live blog, and she's a poet, and she's still teaching to this day. She's young, vibrant, and I love her. And but the quote is, "Act strong when you are weak, weak when you are strong." And that's what he reminded me of today. So when you find your gym, look deep inside because you might just find a coach. And I have been led by coaches most of my life, well, all my life. And the most dear one was my mother. And Pete was my son's health and wellness coach. And he had him for almost 6 years. And the hard thing about when I was raising my son, I asked him very, very young, as had gone through multiple challenges when he was very young. I asked him, "Who are you? What do you do good? And what are you good at? Where do you want to grow and why? How? And what about right now?" And just all these wonderful little questions to ask a little 1-year-old. And that's how young he was when we started. But when you are weak, it says to act strong, and strong, you are to act weak. Well, when Pete and Adam were people, I got to walk around the track maybe for 2 minutes. And then he had my son the rest of the hour. And that went on. And then my son, our dog died first. This was about 2 years ago now. And then shortly after, my son did move away. And that was a big adjustment for me. And then my cat died. And these animals we had for 14 and 15 years, respectively, they were our people. And we were a family, Bubbles and Bo, and Adam and I. And then 10 months ago, I lost my mother. So after those multiple losses, I have learned how to keep my anchors with me. And I have a new coach from London. I can't wait to tell you about her, but she's actually an NLP expert. But I keep my rainbows with me. I keep my peace with me, my sun. And this hat is filled with so much power. Someday when I can, I will tell you the story of my hat, but that will be a while. And that's what I mean about when you are weak, like after a day like I had today, and I had a schedule to be at Pete's. I knew I had to go. Pete and Becky have a gym in Perm, and it is my New York gym. And they have a rock star there named Caleb. And so I was weak, and I did go, and Pete could almost see that I was in that state. And somehow he just magically was able to piece me back together. You know, when my son launched, and he actually launched for real. I mean, he went to the big city right on Hennepin. And however, I'm doing a pre-launch because I'm learning how to walk alone and without coaches. But I started like I started with my son years ago. I started with the list. Well, who are my coaches? And I had to make a brand new list. And I am thankful that I walked into that gym and picked Pete. And then I have also added many other people to my list. And I think we should look at our 7 days real hard. Do we have an art coach? Do we have a spiritual coach? And I'm filling up my list in my digital home of my rock solid coaches. And I'm even bringing some on board as my personal business team. Because when I start unveiling what I've been working on since 2012, I think you're going to say, wow, she put a lot of work into this. You know what I think I did? I put a lot of pain and a lot of heartache into it too. And I know there's a lot of you out there that have, like this quote, you have to build your defenses of strength, and you have to ding the bell and put your boxing gloves on, and you have to find that shield and that hedge of protection to be strong even when we're weak. And so today I just value Pete because as a coach, you know, he knows when I am, you know, when I need that boost of strength. And when I asked him, when he was listening and I was lifting and doing the best that I could, at the very end, he gave me that quote. And it's literally going to carry me the rest of the week, probably the rest of the month. And this is the type of power that a coach has. They get to sense you. So let's help each other, you know. Help me on my list. Help me put a new thing on my list every day of who I am, what do I want, what am I good at. And you know, those grapefruits, well, I'm here to tell you, I had a great idea. I said, Pete, I haven't had fruit for about 2 years, and I loved fruit. But with my health challenges, and check with your own Pete, because I'm not here to tell you how to eat or what to eat. You have to figure all that out on your own. So I went to my Pete about an idea for grapefruit today. And he says, oh, that bag that's in your car, because he already knew I bought it. He said, he gave me my instructions. I won't tell you what my personal coach tells me during my coaching session, except for quotes. So what I'm going to tell you is that I can only have these 1 or 2 times a week per my health position. So I am taking these now, and I'm going to keep practicing my juggling because I'm going to rock on with that too. So pick your Pete's, find out from them if grapefruit's an option, and make a list. I'm starting over. Hundreds of lists I've created in the last 5 years, especially with my mother's last year to live that they told her. And we said, I'm going to finish that book, and I did. It's on the third edit, and it's sitting in New Jersey, and it's going to get done. And I went ahead and I started my coaching program with my live streams. And I am bringing on something pretty exciting. I can't wait to tell you. And I'm opening up a restaurant, and you're going to love my menus. And I'm going to hit the road, and I'm going to tell everybody about this opera house all over the world because I believe in the dream there, and it's a reality because dreams are only dreams, and I understand that. But I have set many deadlines to get that dream accomplished, and every time I failed. And this time, this dream with a deadline, it's a goal, and it's going to happen, and it's game on. And that's what I'm excited to share with you. So pick your Pete and let him teach it, preach it, and repeat it until we can be humble again to say thank you to these people that have helped us. I think the pain is going to be here. You know, we're going to lose our people, my cat, my dog. I tell you, I can't even talk about them until I'm ready. And my little boy, you know, tonight, what it started out to be, I was going to tell you about shoes. And I have a storage shed full of my son's shoes. And this is just, you know, don't even get me started on shoes. So this cannot happen this video, but for some reason I have to have a bucket of shoes in every room I go. It's a problem that it gives me strength when I am weak. So, oh my God, I just think Pete is like my person. And no wonder my kid, he just absolutely healed from the things that he was going through physically and with his health and wellness. And he's just absolutely on his way. And I'm so proud of him. And I miss him so bad. And he calls me now for no reason, but on purpose. And it's just about every day because he's got a new signal, a new trigger. When he does dishes, he's calling home. And I'm so thrilled that these lessons that I preached and teached and repeated are being practiced. And he loves them and he's happy because he has a balance. So again, Tuesdays, health, wellness, and treats. I'm becoming a preservationist and I am a head coach. I'm building that digital home and how to live life on purpose 7 days a week. So Tuesdays are for those who dare. I hope you remember me. I hope you understand to be avant-garde is to be able to look behind, live in the now, and then go find your Pete. Remember me and be rare. I don't want to cry. Sincerely, Colleen.